Hello and welcome to Through the Mist with me, your host Ern. This is a Void Verse 3 podcast where we look at the lore and try to understand how it all works. In this episode, we'll be looking at Eidolons. I can't believe I didn't attempt to work out how you say Eidolons before recording this. That's just that. I've been saying it in my head, and then I said it out loud just then. I was like, I don't think that's right. But either way, welcome back, Mistbusters, to Through the Mist. As I just stated, hope all have had a good April, because we're now in May. This is May. This is the May episode. Hope you all had a good April. And it's been fun and exciting. I'm recording this episode just after a Pojo podcast meetup here in Old Blighty. Hello to everyone. It was wonderful to see you all. Yay. Woo. It was so exciting. An extra special shout out to the artist formerly known as the Damn Mean Page, brackets Robert, who during their adventures on this side of the Atlantic got engaged. Yay! Congrats, big woo, yay. Her safe travels back to the US of A. Hope everything's going fine. I don't know what to say anymore. Yeah, so, right. That's it. Ramble's over. Let's get into the episode. Eidolons. So we all remember Semele. There we go. I've been going through when I've been typing it out, but knowing that's wrong. So Semele, that makes more sense. From the latest Nico D'Angelo adventure book, The Court of the Dead, we all remember, and like how she was an Eidolon, or so we thought. But she turned out to be, in fact, the mother of Dionysus, and she was, in fact, turned into a god. Well, you see, that is what we are going to look at today, is we are going to look into Eidolons and the whole simile of it all. Yeah? You ready? So, Eidolons, what are they? Eidolons are demons, spirits or ghosts which possess living things. Well, in strict terms, they are an image copy of a real being. Although an Eidolon may refer to an apparition of a dead person in the living world, it also describes a very specific type of image, like a copy of a living being. They appear in the Iliad and the Odyssey as spirits of dead people, but like not in a possession way. The notion of the possession part of it seems to come from stories written down by this guy called Philostratus, who lived in Greece during the Roman period, and it was stories of a Pythagorean philosopher, like stories of their adventures. So, you know, it's like the whole possession things. I don't know how. It's weird saying true because we like to have like a canon of myth, but canon of myth doesn't really truly exist. It kind of exists in Greek thanks to Homer, but that's the only place it really does exist. But anyway, this is maybe a later invention is what I'm guessing at. But in the books, we first meet Eidolons in Moa, which is a Roman book, wink wink, nudge nudge and all that. And I say officially meet them because we do meet spirits before, most notably the Happy Meal events in Bottle. Also, there's the Lairs, which I guess in this case, they are an image or copy of a real being. So they are Eidolons in that most pure form, in the most strict form. They are a copy of a living being. But the official Eidolons, what we meet, that are named as such, the possession thing, they possess Percy, Jason and Leo in Moa, and are much more your standard annoying ghosts in the books than anything else. And obviously, like a number of mythics, they got expanded upon in the NDAs. And in this case, as stated earlier, this was in the form of Semele themselves. Only 5 minutes of recording. This might be one of the very short episodes. So Semele. Semele was a princess of Thebes, born from Cadmus. Not that sort of Cadmus, guys. Stay whelmed.
Sorry. First time at the hall. I'm a little overwhelmed.
You're overwhelmed. Freeze was underwhelmed. Why isn't anyone ever just whelmed?
I don't know who's going to get that joke, but I wanted to say it. Cadmus is the first king and founder of Thebes. Semele is also the daughter of Harmonia, the goddess. So we all know, like, the story, the big story they're part of. Zeus did his thing. Hera got jealous and played devil's advocate. Semele asked to see Zeus's true form, and she bursts into flames while pregnant. Zeus saved the kid by sewing him into his leg. The kid is born and becomes Dionysus. That's the highlight reel of the story of Semele. Now, what the key point here is, Semele is in fact dead. However, Dionysus managed to save his mother from the underworld and brought her up to Mount Olympus, where she becomes the goddess Thyone. And her area of expertise is the frenzy inspired by Dionysus. And that is the politest way I could look at putting it. So, and then obviously further this, the lore in the books is she became an Eidolon as she faded away from godhood. Ooh. This is going to be... That took 2 minutes to say. Oh my god, this episode's going to be short. Yeah, well, next bit. Okay, that was background. All of that was background. Lovely background. So, the fading of gods of it all. Well, so from the vibe I get is that not all Eidolons are faded gods. Some are just spirits. So the ones that possess Percy, Jason and Leo, they are much more your traditional spirit. Basic spirit that's maybe a bit angry, so does the possession thing. And then obviously, if you want to get really technical about it, we have met others. Bianca at one point was an Eidolon, but that's because we met their spirit, and they are a copy / embodiment of a real being. Now, the fading. So, like, I wanted to put that out there that I don't think all Eidolons are ghosts. Oh, gods, not ghosts. They are all ghosts. They're quite literally all ghosts, but they're not all gods. But fading gods, we now have 3 cases of fading gods. We have Pan, we have Hippocrates, and we have Semele, Thyone. So neither Pan nor Hippocrates do this as they fade. And because of this, I feel like there's quite a simple explanation about why, in particular, Semele became an Eidolon as they were fading. So, and it's quite an obvious one if you think about it. If you recap the story, it quite appears. Semele was human first. Both Pan and Hippocrates were gods, and always gods. Semele was human first. And even more so, she was dead. She was a spirit when she became a god. She wasn't a living mortal. She was a dead mortal when she became a god. And therefore, as she fades, instead of becoming nothingness, which is what all gods are made from, nothingness, then she's reverting to her true form, the form she was before she died. Before she became a god, a spirit. Except now her spirit isn't tied to the underworld. It is an enigma. It's an enigmus. This does bring up the question about what might happen to the likes of Hercules and Dionysus. Dionysus is a bit more whiffy even than Hercules, because Hercules was definitely technically mortal before becoming god. Dionysus is a bigger grey area, but was supposed to be born mortal before the got burnt up and tied to a leg. But I think we don't have to worry about that, because I think the Hercules thing you could explain if they are mortal, when they fade, they actually just end up in the underworld. If you want to keep this going. But then some of these gods won't die until the entire pantheon fades, and if the pantheon fades, then they all go, you know? Anyway, the only other major variation is that unlike the other two, Semele didn't want to go, which like adds to this fact of her becoming her original form. Pan is more reluctant than Hippocrates, but is also like, this is my time. It's been my time. Whereas Hippocrates actively wants to leave. He's done with it. He's over. Pan is a bit more like, I wish it wasn't over, but it is. Hippocrates is like, peace out, I'm done, goodbye. And I do think this like psychological difference allows Semele to become that human spirit again more easily, as she doesn't want to fade, so she kind of reverts into an ambiguous blob of spirit that has some sense of her personality, but she can't tap into it as she once did. Like, she knows her name, we call her by her name, but she doesn't really have the proper memories to go with that name. And all that jazz. So yeah, that's it. That's everything. That's everything I have to say. This is a bloody quick episode, and I'm going to cut it down for time. So like, this might be a 10-minute episode, guys. Oh my god. In, out, quick, boom, dish, bash, bosh. Maybe if I remember to actually research properly and not the weekend of recording, I might try and make next ones a bit longer just to like compensate or something. I don't know. Anyway, thank you. Bye. Thank you for indulging in this theory. If you have any comments on this theory, or theories you own that you want me to discuss, you can email them through to foo.t.mist@gmail.com, or you can follow on Instagrams and threads at foo_mist. Make sure to follow the podcast, like the podcast, subscribe to the podcast, whatever helps to get the podcast out there. I've been Owen, and come back next time as we try to see also because they'll get annoyed if I don't shout them out. Hi, Darian!